Hello YouTube. In this video I will demonstrate the performance capabilities of the late 2012 iMac. I'll show you the specs that it has later. This is not a video trying to persuade people to buy the iMac. It is more expensive. I have this iMac specifically for other purposes with OS X and Windows 8. I enjoy both operating systems. But in this video I strictly wanted to show the capabilities, benchmarks, and I'll get to that. So let's get started. Today is September 1st, 2013. Battlefield 4 is not far away and I'm really excited. But the game I'm going to show you now is Battlefield 3. If I go to Video Experience, let me open up MSI. Yes. You can see that I'm running the latest beta driver. It is 326.8. And I am running overclocking with MSI Afterburner. Now, overclocking, simply put, is just raising the core clock speed and the memory clock speed. That's just what I'm doing. I'll show you before and after here in a second. The benefit to overclocking is if you can keep your CPU or GPU temperature down, you can get better fraps, and that's very helpful for gaming. So let's start. We're going to start a server. Empty. All right. Pretty much what I'm going to show y'all is the capabilities this machine can do. The rig I have it has the GTX 2 gig 680MX, very powerful card with Intel i7-3770 GPU clocked at 3.4 Hertz. I'm not messing with that. I have 32 gigs of RAM, and it's running the 27-inch IPS display with 2560 by 1440 at 60 Hertz. All right, let's get started. All right, put the sound on. All right. So right now, I'm going to bring up the FPS counter, and as you can see, I'm getting 60 frames a second. Looks pretty good. Now, I'm getting 60 frames a second, and my settings are everything's on ultra. I don't have anti-aliasing on because that takes away a lot of stuff. Anti-spectral filter is up. This is what you get with a small map. The bigger maps, I'm not going to have time for this on this video. The bigger maps, you get probably about average 44 with this setting because it's looking at a lot more stuff. But on close quarters and stuff that I like to play, this is about the average FPS that I get. Now, I've tweaked with these a lot. Even on low setting, it actually only gets about 10 frames per second more. I'm not really sure why. It doesn't even decrease that much when you turn all these settings on. This is what I play on. If you want to play more comfortably, obviously turning it down will help, but this is what I do. So, with this on, I'm getting about 63 frames per second, which is pretty good. I know a lot of people are going, oh, why don't you turn everything down and get like, I don't know, 120 frames per second. Well, the monitor is only 60 Hertz, so it's truly only going to get 60 frames a second. It's not really going to average or do anything better than that. All right, now let's make this interesting. I'm going to go to MSI Afterburner, and I'm going to do my configured setup. I'm going to increase the clock speed from 719 megahertz to adding 231 to get it 950. Now it's theoretical. It's only going to get probably about 941, I think. And memory clock is going from 2500 megahertz, and I'm putting it to 3000, and it gets about 2997. So let's apply this and go back to the game. Now you already see already increased to 74 frames per second, which is a lot more. At this point, you might as well turn on VSync. That will allow your monitor to cap at 60 frames per second. I don't really notice an issue with it, but if you want to do that, you can. But already it's increased about 25%, maybe a little bit less in frames per second, which is a lot for overclocking. My GPU is only running about 2 to 3 Celsius more. If you go to here and look at the results really quickly, it shows 83 about where it was, 85 about where it was. So it's only about a couple of Celsius more than it is now. This is still running on the max settings that I have. And even if let's go ahead and put on the anti-aliasing. Oops, I don't want that high. Let's do ×4. And I'm still getting about 55 frames per second on a small map. That's actually pretty good. What that does is it decreases jagged edges. You're not going to be able to see it because this video is on 1080p and the screen is 1440p. So, but it does make the game look a little bit better. But I turn it off because the resolution is so big it doesn't really matter because you can't really tell that much. And when you're shooting people up, it's not really something you can really see that much. So getting more frames per second, turn it off. So I'm getting about 80 frames right there. Obviously, if I go down a dark corridor, I get about almost 100. That's because it's smaller. The bigger it scales, the less you're going to get because I'm looking this way. I'm going to get a little bit less. If I look at this, I'm going to get a lot more because I'm not looking at a lot of stuff. But that's what I'm getting with MSI Afterburner overclocked. I'm very impressed with the overall graphics of this game and the capabilities of what the iMac can do. As you can see, it only was about 85 right there. Everything was about running about 90, 95, 98%. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, why did you get an iMac? Why didn't you just build your own PC? For the same amount of money, you could be getting twice that FPS. Yes, I know that. But this is for people who are interested in what the 27-inch iMac version can do. I'm very aware of all the things PCs, custom-built PCs can do. This is not what this video is. So please do not comment about why a custom-built PC is better, because I don't care. If you're looking at buying a machine like this to play games, and you wanted to know if it can fully do this, yes, it can. Obviously, by showing you in those settings and stuff, you can see what it's fully capable of. I have not been able to find a good video that demonstrates the overall speed of Battlefield 3 or any other games. I mainly play Battlefield 3. I haven't been able to find any other videos on YouTube at all showcasing the capabilities of it normal or overclocked. None overclocked. I really wanted to create a good quality video showing the capabilities of the machine. In review, like I said, I was getting about average 55 to 63 frames per second standard. It doesn't need to be overclocked, but I just wanted to overclock it. Just why not? See what else it can do. Overclocked, you saw about 80 frames per second, and that's on a smaller map. On a bigger map, it's going to get a lot less because it's more scale. It has to do more, but very playable at that resolution. Some people say that 30 frames per second is good. Well, I moved from Xbox 360 Battlefield 3, and just because I bought this iMac to use with OS X, I was able to run it on Windows partition with a 250 gigs partitioned for Windows 8. I'm very pleased with the performance of this computer. Again, I'm using the latest Nvidia driver. It's a beta. It's 3.26.8, and that's all. I'll post another video when the Battlefield 4 beta comes out and see what I can get with that, and as well as the main Battlefield 4 gameplay when it comes out and the capabilities of the machine. Please comment if you have any questions or any requests that you'd like to see other maps or anything else that I can do for this. Thanks a lot.